Greetings, Redheads. Thank you for joining me in another episode of your favorite show, the one and only Red's View. Of course, I am your gracious host, Jay Red. And before I begin this video, please do me a favor. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel. It's going across your screen right now, youtube.com/Red's View, the official channel. And also hit that like button. Before we begin this video, I want you to do me a favor, hit the like button. That helps out with the algorithm and things like that. Also, don't be afraid to comment. Hit the dislike button if you want to. We got to dive into something that's very popular right now. I know y'all been waiting on me to talk about this, and now it is time. Now it is time. J. Cole crashed out on Port Antonio. He crashed out on his new song that he dropped on IG, which seems to be the trend these days. Drake has been doing it. Kendrick has been doing it. I think that it's because maybe clearance issues. I don't know. I actually did record another video previously, but I was playing some of the songs and it was going to limit the visibility and all this other stuff. So I got to do this video over again. But anyway, let's talk about this. All right. Now, first off, let me say this. I've been a Jermaine Cole fan since 2009. I first got introduced to him with the warm-up mixtape. Love that mixtape. And I'm not even into mixtapes like that. I'm more of an album guy. Mixtape was phenomenal. Friday Night Lights, then it went into the Cold World Sideline Story. So that's how long I've been a fan of J. Cole. So I'm going to critique him for sure. But let me first off say this. I'm a fan, right? I'm not a fan of the content that is in this song, but the song overall is a dope song. So let's get that out the way. This is not a J. Cole hate video. This is a J. Cole constructive criticism video. So all of y'all who are going to comment, get that out your system. All right. So Port Antonio, I'm not going to play the song, but I'm going to go through the verse and give a play-by-play of what I think he's talking about, then give my full synopsis on what it is, I feel like. But I'm just getting it out there. I did like the song. He's still bar for bar one of the best rappers that are out right now. Um, I'm looking forward to hearing the fall off. I've been looking forward to that. His last couple albums been but I'm looking forward to this, right? But I think he's crashing out. I'll go ahead and say this. I think that J. Cole is indecisive. This battle that Kendrick has won has an effect. It has affected the careers of both J. Cole and Drake. You know, like it's a lot that's going on. These men are crashing out. Drake just was caught crying on stage talking about he don't have any friends and fake friends, and now J. Cole comes up with this. So anyway, let's take a look at the lyrics. Let's go to the second verse because that's what the internet is buzzing about. All right. So what do you say? Can't knock it. I pulled the plug because I've seen where that was about to go. They wanted blood, they wanted clicks to make their pockets grow. Now, let me say this. I don't think he's literally meaning blood, people. I heard Maul talk about this. I don't think he's meaning blood in the sense of actual blood, like violence. I think he was talking about the bloodshed in the battle, like the rap battle, because we've seen that Drake's, so usually if it's a high profile battle, somebody's career is likely to get affected by it. Same thing happened with 50 Cent and Ja Rule, Meek and Drake. You know, some people can blossom, some people can't. But that's what he was talking about. I think he's talking about the gossip, the mess, that you have a hidden child and you beat up on your wife. So I think that's what he was talking about there. So then he says, they see this fire in my pen and think I'm dodging smoke. I wouldn't have lost the battle, dog. I would have lost the bro. I would have gained the foe and all for what? Just to obtain more props from strangers that don't got a clue what I'm aiming for. Let me say this. You pulled the plug because you saw where it was about to go. Okay. You wasn't dodging smoke. You're saying that you wouldn't have lost the battle, you would have lost the bro. Now, it's two ways to look at this. I think one way people are saying that, of course, like me, who's saying that, he's saving face, saying that, hey, I wouldn't have lost that battle. Like, I'm still a dope MC. I just would have lost my friend. So that's BS. And it's corny if he's saying that because we've seen what you did. You threw out the 7-minute drill song and it didn't do what you thought it was going to do. But anyway, some other people are thinking that he's saying it as in the battle itself. It wouldn't have been about the battle that I would have lost. It's about losing a friend. Like, I'm hoping I'm saying this right. He's saying it wouldn't have been about the battle. Forget that battle. I would have lost a brother. So take that as you may or whatever, right? So Then he says, since the age of 4, so props from strangers that I don't got a clue why I've been aiming, that don't got a clue what I've been aiming for. Since the age of 14, Jermaine is no king. If that means I got to dig up dirt and pay the whole team of algorithm bot niggas just to sway the whole thing on social media, competing for favorable means. Okay. Um, People were thinking that he was talking about Kendrick. They think that there was a jab towards Kendrick. But that also could be a jab at Drake. But clearly he's talking about Drake at the end of the song, so it's not that. But some people felt like that was a shot at Kendrick. I don't think that was really a shot at Kendrick. I think that was talking about what people were discussing. That was a hot topic with the whole bots narrative. That was back when academics and different people we're talking about the whole bots thing. Y'all remember that, right? Y'all remember the whole bots narrative thing. Let me go back to this. Yeah, y'all remember that whole bots thing and how academics had the random white band that was on there talking about some Kendrick and his team actually paid me for bots, and we found out that was debunked and everything like that. So I think that J. Cole in this particular bar, he's just talking about just the overall narrative that was happening, because it was on Drake's end too. People said that Drake was paying people to sway the opinions of public and everything like that. So I think he was just generally speaking right there. I could be wrong, but I think that's what he's talking about. He said on social media, competing for favorable means to be considered best or alive or live and or live and rest. I'm sorry, or live and rest. The weight of both things. I understand the thirst of being first that made them both swing. Drake and Kendrick, protecting legacy, so lines got crossed, perhaps regrettably. My friends went to war. I walk away with their blood on me. No, you didn't walk away with their blood on you, J. Cole. You walked away because you chickened out. You chickened out. You threw rocks and hid your hands. That's what you did. Now, some will discredit me, try wipe away my pedigree, but please find a nigga out that's rapping this incredibly. Kendrick Lamar is, and that's why Kendrick Lamar won the battle, J. Cole. My dog texts me, I share the words he said to me. If you refuse to shoot the gun, don't mean the gun ain't deadly. I guess in that metaphor, hypothetically, the gun is me. I text him back like, guess a gun ain't what I'm trying to be, my nigga. They stripped me out my spot, and I'm finally free, my ninja. They say I'm picking sides. Hey, don't lie on me, my ninja. Then start another war. Hey, Drake, you'll always be my ninja. I ain't ashamed to say you did a lot for me, my ninja. F all the narratives. Tapping back into your magic pen is what's imperative. Reminding these folks why we do it. So he said this about Drake, talking about some "you'll always be my nigga." I think that was so sweet. I think that was so cute. Ah, that was so cute. That was so nice because Drake was just caught crying on stage and about him not having friends and real friends. And Drake has sounded drunk. I talked about this already, but Drake was just on stage talking about he has fake friends and you can't trust everybody, walking off to Me, Myself, and Now by Beyonce. And here comes J. Cole. Jermaine is like, no, it's okay. It's okay. I'm your friend. I remember what you did for me. You'll always be my nigga. I love you. I thought that was so cute. But let's talk about the real. All right. J. Cole, this is all your fault. This is all on you. See, you threw rocks and hid your hands. You threw a punch and it missed. You threw a punch and it didn't land. I'll say that it landed, but it didn't land where you thought it was going to land. You thought it was going to land on Kendrick's face. It ended up landing on his arm or something like that. It's like you grazed him. You know what I'm saying? You decided to start up the battle, right? You responded to Kendrick. See, Kendrick put out like that in response to what you said on the First Person Shooter song. And First Person Shooter, this all started this time last year, because For All the Dogs, from my understanding, didn't it come out in October? It came out like the beginning of October. I remember, and First Person Shooter was a dope song that took off. But in that bar, you said, we the big three. Kendrick responded and said that it ain't no big three, it's just Big Me. You decided to make the 7-minute drill track that didn't land where you thought it was going to land, and you chickened out. You saw the reaction on social media. You saw how we were downplaying it. You saw that we weren't feeling that song. You saw the reaction, and something in your spirit came up and said that you didn't want to go to war with Kendrick. Fine, that's okay. But you can't come 5 months later and talk about I wouldn't have lost the battle. I would have lost the bro. You want to come and act like you're this ferocious MC that's still top tier, which I mean, with lyricism, you are, right? But you want to come and act like you're still on that competitive nature spirit, but at the same time, you want to play both sides. You want to play peacemaker at the same time. That ain't gonna work. Kendrick, that battle, since you took away that song on the Might Delete Later album, and I liked it. I thought that, see, what was supposed to happen was First Person Shooter came out. You did more Drake collaborations. The following year, y'all do the tour. Earlier this year, y'all did It's All a Blur tour, the joint tour. And then I think the fall off was going to come. And I'm assuming that the fall off is still happening. This is just a precursor to what's going to happen. But the fall off is supposed to come. But Kendrick messed up all those plans. Y'all didn't expect a heat-seeking missile to come out and blow up everything, right? I'm sure Drake, after he got off that tour, he was going to take a little chill break and then probably finish up the finishing touches on the Party Next Door album. I do think that was going to come out. And J. Cole was going to gear up to release the fall off. Probably was going to drop a single, whatever. We saw what was going to happen. He dropped Might Delete Later and was getting us prepped up. Kendrick stomped on all those plans. Little did they know, little did my fellow light-skinned biracial brothers know that Kendrick was going to stomp a mud hole in you and mess up the whole plan, right? So that shook up your world, and now you're in shambles and you're crashing out on this song. This song, I like the song. I don't like the context. I don't like the content in the song because he's trying to play peacemaker. You're trying to play peacemaker, but still trying to have this nature of a competitive MC. No, this is all on you. See, if you would have stood on business like Drake, and that's what I respect Drake for, Drake stood on business. Now, he lost the battle, but at least Drake went out swinging. Drake has always went to the plate. He does his subs, subliminal disses, all that stuff. He does petty stuff, all the childish stuff on social media, the trolling. Yes, he does that. But he still steps up to the battle, whether with writers or no writers. He's going to step up to the battle. But Jermaine, you went into the studio, didn't really feel the track. Obviously, we heard it. And you put out that mid-diss record. You put out the mid-diss record, and then you got upset at what was happening, and then you just decided to take it away. This is all on you. I don't have any sympathy for J. Cole with this. Now you're coming out trying to be friends with Drake again. You went out and did features with his ops, like you popped up on the Future and Metro Boomin album. You did a song with A$AP Rocky, from my understanding, if I'm correct. And people have been painting the narrative that you're choosing sides, but you're in this position because you created it. The minute that you start rapping and you make music and you make it big, you have to know, forget making it big. As a rapper, you have to know that somebody is going to test you or you're capable of being tested. That's a part of hip hop nature. You can't, but see, if you were to stick with just being peacemaker, maybe we would have respect for you. See, we had respect for J. Cole when he backed out of the battle. Remember that? We saw where it went. People getting called pedophiles, people getting called deadbeats, people being accused of beating on their women, all this other stuff. We saw where it went, and we were forgiving J. Cole for backing out of it. At least I was. I was like, okay, bet. Like, I get it, right? So for him doing the fall off, it's like, yeah, your career, we don't look at you the same as that MC, that I'm the number one, that's fine. We can look at you as peacemaker, but now you're coming back 5 months later and still trying to say, hey, I'm still number one. Who's rapping as good as me? Kendrick Lamar is. That's why Kendrick Lamar put out the diss records. He won the battle. Made Not Like Us, which is the biggest. It's the number one rap diss song of all time, and it's the longest rap single at number one on the rap charts since its creation in the early 90s. I believe that's when it came out. So since the early 90s, he actually topped Lil Nas X's Old Town Road, because that held the position for a long time. But Kendrick Lamar, he went into the studio, made that. Not Like Us is one of the big, I mean, it's the biggest diss record of all time, but one of the biggest rap songs ever, won the biggest rap battle ever, and he's performing the biggest song on the biggest stage of all time, which is the Super Bowl. So that's who's rapping as good as you, J. Cole. Drake is rapping as good as you, because Family Matters, don't get it twisted, that was one of the best songs in the battle. So people, even though Drake lost, we still respect that he stood up to the plate. You did try to stand up to the plate. It'd be different if you, now I understand, there was peer pressure. There was a lot of peer pressure for you to put that out, and you weren't feeling it, but you did. You did. You went into the studio and did it. See, if you backed out, we still would have been talking trash. I'm not gonna lie, but it wouldn't have affected your career as much because you could have purely just been a peacemaker saying, like, look, y'all, that's my bro. And Kendrick didn't diss him real bad on that song. He just kind of pulled his collar a little bit. But you went in on Kendrick, and that didn't do what you thought it was going to do. And then you decided to wave the white flag before the battle could even start because you knew better. But don't come 5 months later with this BS. And now you're trying to get on tracks and say, Drake, you did a lot for me. You always be my, we ain't trying to hear all that, man. It's too much softness going on in this era right now. Like, I like the track, but J. Cole is acting very light-skinned. This is light-skinned behavior. I'm gonna just keep it a buck. This is very light-skinned biracial behavior. For real, man. This is light-skinned behavior, man. This softness, like, y'all gonna have to take one for the team on this one. Y'all gonna take this L, my light-skinned brothers. You know what I'm saying? But no, for real though, man. It's like I love J. Cole as a talented MC, but the big talk, the shit talk, the big stepper talk, that ain't you no more, my friend. That ain't you. Those days are over. And you're continuing to dig a hole. You're continuing to dig a hole because you're talking about some I'm peacemaker and the battle. I didn't want clicks and views. What are you doing right now? What are you doing right now? You have the right to address it. I'm not saying you don't, but if you're a true peacemaker, you wouldn't even mention this battle. You would go off and ride your bike and make the fall off, and we would listen to that. But you want to re-engage this beef and throw out subliminal bars, because even though I know that you weren't saying that K Dot was using bots, even though I know that you're not saying that Kendrick was necessarily using bots, you were generally speaking, the Drake stands and everybody who hates on Kendrick are creating that narrative that, oh, J. Cole, I saw it on Twitter. They were like, J. Cole admits that Kendrick was using bots and all this other stuff, right? Then you also say that you wouldn't have lost the battle, you would have lost the bro. That insinuates that you're better than Kendrick. That insinuates that. So you're building a bigger, digger. You're building a bigger tunnel. You're digging a bigger hole for yourself by even addressing this. You're a part of the controversy, bro. You're bringing this up for clicks and views and likes and all this other stuff. J. Cole contradicted himself on this entire song. One side, he's peacemaker. Other side, I'm still the best. Who's rapping as good as me? You know what I'm saying? Like, they stripped me out of my position. No, you stripped yourself out of this position, Cole. You stripped yourself out of this. Like, that's just the audacity of this, man. And you're making people like myself, who is a part of your fan base, not respect you as that, right? I respect you as an artist, but as that MC, that competitive MC that I grew up listening to from the warm up, from the come up, from Friday Night Lights, Forest Hill Drive. See, some of y'all weren't fans of him until Forest Hill Drives came out. That's when y'all became fans. I'm a throwback J. Cole fan. But for all of us, fellow MCs like myself, we get inspired by you, but you're spiraling. But the truth is, Kendrick got these boys in a chokehold, man. Kendrick got these boys. These boys' careers, excuse me. J. Cole and Drake's careers have not been the same since this Kendrick battle. You see Drake crying on stage, talk about he ain't got no friends, and now you see J. Cole basically crying in this song about being a peacemaker and how he still loves Drake, and Drake has done so much for him. We ain't trying to hear all that, man. We ain't trying to hear all that. If you hadn't have put out 7 Minute Drill, maybe I would have sympathy for you. If you wouldn't have made this record addressing it, maybe I would have sympathy for you. But you're trying to play both sides, and we ain't going for that. I like the sample. I love the lyricism, but I don't like the content in this song because he is trying to still play like he's that big tough rapper that we thought that he was, and he ain't about that. And now when Kendrick responds, now I don't think Kendrick is going to respond in a and it's not going to be a rap battle between J. Cole and Kendrick. I think Kendrick is going to address it, of course, because it's too many loose messages in this for him not to. So when he responds, don't say he's trying to dig at J. Cole and J. Cole's supposed to be, man, we ain't trying to hear that, man. There ain't no big three no more. It's just Big Kendrick at this point. You know what I'm saying? But if it was a big three, J. Cole, you're exited from that, my friend. It's over with. It's over with. And it's disappointing as a fan to see J. Cole go out like this. I didn't think it was going to happen. Again, that man has the right to express himself. He's an artist, but we ain't trying to hear all that, man. All this splaining on the track. I don't like that. But let me know in the comments what you think about it. That's my synopsis of it. I wish I could have played the song, but I didn't want to get a copyright strike. So I had to read the lyrics. But let me know in the comments what you think about this. I want you to subscribe to the channel, which is youtube.com/RedsView. Make sure that you follow me on all social media platforms at JAYR3D. And man, hit that like button, comment, share, subscribe, all that stuff, man. This is Jay Red. I'll see you on the next episode of Reds View.